As you can see in these videos, well, in this video, in the photos, basically, this is a little awkward for me, sorry, but this is the first time I'm editing, actually. You can see in these photos, sorry, that all the photos that I have shown, these are all Nigerian women. These are all black women, and they are all African women. You can see in Nigerian women alone, they vary from light to dark, from a more 4A-ish hair type to a 4C hair type, narrower features, broader features. They range, and they're all black, and they're all African. Yet, because in our society, in their society too, it seems like, partially, but I wouldn't say all of them, just from some people who I think more so like to cash in on other people's misery, but it's a whole nother topic. You can see that with many platforms, the colorism platforms and the light skin platforms, the mixed race platforms mostly, you can see that most of the time, everybody loves to erase the light skinned and the black woman who doesn't have a hair type they're wanting or a facial structure they are expecting, or like I said, the dark skin that they say is so required. Many of the time, there's an erasure of the black woman who basically varies in phenotype, just like the black man, of course. And I feel like the main reason people who do not fit into the category of having 4C hair and dark skin get lumped out of the black category, especially when it has to do with colorism and things of that nature, and thinking that, a different phenotype means mixture, is mainly because of the idea of both sides not wanting black people to vary in phenotype. You see, take for example people who are Nigerian descent. Many of them are understanding and know very well, whether they want to or not, that these women exist, and the darker skinned women that I've shown in this slide, you can see are Nigerian as well. They both are Nigerian. Yet, most of the time, these people will try to act like the darker skinned Africans are the ones who are the original black people and they are more black. They do this because they don't like the existence of the lighter skinned Africans. Now, that doesn't mean every Nigerian. I'm specifically talking about especially the ones who try to basically instill the idea of division and colorism and the idea of splitting and pitting light skin against dark skin and dark skin against light skin. That's who I'm talking about specifically. They often try to pretend these people don't exist, or they try to act like people who have phenotypes similar to these people in the slide who aren't Nigerian well, they're Nigerian maybe biologically, but they're not by nationality. You get what I'm saying? Like for me specifically, I'm Nigerian descent, but I'm not Nigerian in nationality. It's just in my ethnic background. But they try to basically paint a picture that isn't actually true. They push a certain image and imply that the people who don't look like them must have changed their appearance to not look like them so then they can feel good about their own phenotype. When it shouldn't have to be like that. And you find this in America as well with many dark skinned black people and people aligned with more like Chrissy's platform, where like they are more like, for example, Caribbean descent, possibly, things of that nature. You know, many of the time these people will try to claim that darker skin means you are more authentically black. When in reality, we see the original African people range in phenotype. They do. Some of them are very light, some of them are dark skinned, some of them are in between, and their features range tremendously. So pretending is a matter of protecting. They do this to protect their own self-esteem, to protect their own sense of feeling inferior. They shouldn't feel inferior to these people. As you can see, the dark-skinned black women who are African Nigerian descent are just as beautiful, if not much, much more beautiful than the lighter-skinned Nigerian African women. So it's like there's no need to erase something just because you feel fear of it or you feel insecure about it. You should understand that there's pride and beauty in both sides. So there's no reason to want the other type of black woman to not exist. Often you will find with the mixed race platforms, it's the same thing, but from a different angle. Excuse me, sorry. And in this case, it's kind of like the mixed race portion is more like this. It comes from the idea of white supremacy. Now, the other side comes from the side of white supremacy, too. This whole situation was made by white supremacy. But it's more entwined with it. See, light skin is associated with being better on some points of view, basically. And white ancestry is seen as better than African ancestry in some points of views. If you think that light skin is better than dark skin, then you don't obviously want to associate something like light skin with African ancestry if you think that dark skin and African descent is less than. Therefore, anytime someone has lighter skin, they try to associate those people with basically mixed people. And the problem is in these situations is that many of the time light-skinned black Americans and light-skinned Caribbean people face a problem because we don't actually know our identity without taking a DNA test. And therefore, you can't have any conviction in your own identity when you don't actually know your actual identity. So people can question you all day and you won't really have any answer for it. So that basically is why often with mixed platforms, light skinned black people get erased by it because they get lumped in with them. Therefore, you can't actually, and it creates a lot of issues because you can't actually be yourself because you're not really a part of the mixed category because you're not really mixed. But at the same time, your own people, the dark skinned black people, tend to reject you, tend to act like, oh, you must have some kind of other heritage in you, or oh, you're too light, The only time we can accept you is if you can't, you're maybe on the darker end of light skin. But either way, it's just like, you know, kind of like a situation where both sides want light skinned black people not to exist, and that's why they ignore these type of women and their identity. That's all I have to really say. It's just, to me, I feel everybody wants to erase the lighter skinned black man and woman. And it's all because of feeling insecure and having a racial hierarchy mindset. So that's all I'm going to say for today on this video. Thanks for watching. Bye.